Imagine for a moment that you are standing on a world where the sun never sets, but stays fixed in one spot in the sky, glowing a deep, haunting red. A world where the year lasts only 11 days and the gravity feels almost exactly like home. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie, this is a real place. For thousands of years, humans have looked at the stars and wondered if we are alone or if there is another Earth waiting for us. And in 2016, we found the most promising candidate in history. I'm talking about Proxima b, the closest exoplanet to our solar system. Now, you might be thinking, we're already talking about going to Mars, so why look even further? The truth is, while Mars is our immediate neighbor, it's a desert. Proxima b represents something much bigger, the possibility of a truly Earth-like world that could sustain life for trillions of years. But there is a massive catch. While this planet sits right in the Goldilocks zone, where liquid water could exist, it is also a place of extreme violence and mystery. Look, Proxima b is located about 4.2 light-years away in the Alpha Centauri system. That might sound close in cosmic terms, but it's actually 40 trillion kilometers away. To put that in perspective, if you drove a car at highway speeds, it would take you 45 million years to get there. Even our fastest current spacecraft, like Voyager 1, would take over 70,000 years to reach it. But despite this distance, scientists are more excited about this planet than almost any other. Why? Because Proxima b is roughly the same size as Earth, and it orbits a star called Proxima Centauri, a red dwarf. Red dwarfs are the most common stars in the galaxy, and they burn their fuel so slowly that they can live for trillions of years, much longer than our own sun. This means Proxima b could be a long-term sanctuary for humanity, but the environment there is unlike anything we've ever experienced. Because it orbits so close to its star, about 20 times closer than Earth is to the sun, the planet is likely tidally locked. This means one side of the planet is in eternal, blistering daylight, while the other side is trapped in a frozen, never-ending night. Can humans actually survive in such a divided world? The answer is far more complicated than you think. To understand how humans could live on Proxima b, we first have to look at the Terminator line. Imagine a thin, circular strip of land that wraps around the entire planet, separating the side of eternal light from the side of eternal darkness. In this narrow twilight zone, the sun never sets and never rises. It just sits forever on the horizon, bathing the landscape in a permanent crimson glow. This is likely the only place on the planet where the temperature might be just right for liquid water to exist. If you step too far toward the day side, you'd face a blistering desert. Step too far into the night side, and you're in a world of frozen nitrogen and absolute darkness. But even in this Goldilocks strip, survival is a massive gamble. Because Proxima b is so close to its star, it doesn't just receive light, it receives a constant barrage of high-energy radiation. You see, Proxima Centauri isn't a stable yellow star like our sun. It's a red dwarf, and these stars are famous for being temperamental flare stars. Scientists have observed Proxima Centauri emitting massive solar flares that are 1,000 times brighter than its usual state. These flares happen in just seconds and can be 10 times more powerful than the biggest flares ever recorded from our sun. On Earth, our magnetic field and thick atmosphere act as a shield, protecting us from solar storms. But Proxima b is 20 times closer to its star than Earth is to the sun. At that range, the planet is blasted with 30 times more ultraviolet radiation and 250 times more X-rays than we receive on Earth. Without an incredibly strong magnetic field, these flares would literally zap the planet sterile, stripping away the atmosphere and boiling off any oceans over millions of years. And then there's the air itself. On the dark side of the planet, it's so cold that the atmosphere could actually freeze and fall to the ground as snow. This is called atmospheric collapse. If the winds aren't strong enough to carry heat from the day side to the night side, the entire atmosphere could end up trapped as ice on the dark half, leaving the rest of the planet a vacuum. So even if we find a way to reach Proxima b, we might arrive to find a world that has no air to breathe and a sun that tries to fry us every few days. The question is, how would we even get there to find out? To answer that, we have to face the most mind-blowing numbers in all of science. Proxima b is 4.2 light-years away. Now, 4.2 doesn't sound like a big number, right? But in space terms, it's a staggering 40 trillion kilometers. To put that into perspective, if you took the fastest spacecraft ever built by humans, Voyager 1, it would take about 75,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri. That means if our ancestors had launched a rocket during the Stone Age, it would just be arriving right about now. Obviously, our current chemical rockets aren't going to cut it. We need something revolutionary. Enter a project called Breakthrough Starshot. This isn't just science fiction. It's a real concept backed by legendary figures like Stephen Hawking. The idea is to send tiny, cracker-sized probes called star chips attached to incredibly thin light sails. Instead of heavy fuel, these sails would be pushed by massive, high-powered lasers from Earth. In late 2025, researchers actually developed AI-optimized sails that are only 200 nanometers thick. That's thousands of times thinner than a human hair. These probes could reach 20% of the speed of light. At that speed, the journey to Proxima b would take only 20 years. Imagine that. Within our lifetime, we could receive the first close-up photos of an alien world. But there's a massive catch. Sending a tiny chip is one thing. Sending a 100-ton spaceship full of humans is an entirely different beast. To push a human-sized ship to those speeds, we'd need more energy than the entire planet currently produces. And even if we solve the energy problem, space is a shooting gallery. At 20% the speed of light, even a tiny grain of space dust would hit the ship with the force of a bomb. One pebble could end the entire mission in a millisecond. So, if we can't go fast, we have to go long. This brings us to the concept of a generation ship, like the recently designed Chrysalis project. This would be a massive, self-sustaining city in space, designed for a journey of 400 years. The people who arrive at Proxima b wouldn't be the ones who left Earth, they would be the great-grandchildren of the original crew. You would be born, live your entire life, and die inside a metal hull, all for a destination you will never see. But let's say we make it. What happens when we finally touch down? Now, imagine reaching Proxima b after a century of travel. You open the hatch of your ship, and the first thing that hits you is the sky. It isn't blue like Earth or pink like Mars. It's a deep, haunting orange-red. And the sun? It looks massive, nearly 10 times larger in the sky than our sun appears from Earth. But it's a deep, dark crimson color. And here's the most mind-blowing part. That sun never sets. It never even moves. You see, because Proxima b is so close to its star, it is likely tidally locked. This means the same side of the planet always faces the star, just like how the same side of the moon always faces Earth. This creates a world of two extremes. On the day side, you have a permanent, scorching desert, where the sun is forever fixed at high noon. On the night side, you have a frozen wasteland in eternal darkness, where temperatures are so low that the atmosphere itself could turn into ice. This gives the planet a strange appearance that scientists call an eyeball planet, a giant ball of ice with a single liquid iris of open ocean facing the star. So, where would humans actually live? Our only hope is a thin, circular strip between the fire and the ice called the Terminator Zone. It's a place of perpetual twilight, where the sun is always sitting on the horizon, creating a never-ending sunset. In this narrow Goldilocks ring, the temperature might be just right for liquid water and human life. But don't get too comfortable, because Proxima b has a terrifying secret. Its star, Proxima Centauri, is a flare star. Unlike our calm sun, this red dwarf is incredibly violent. It frequently erupts with massive flares that blast the planet with 10 to 60 times more X-ray and UV radiation than Earth receives. These flares can be 100 times more powerful than anything our sun produces. If Proxima b doesn't have a super strong magnetic field to protect it, these flares would have stripped away its atmosphere millions of years ago, leaving nothing but a dead, radiation-soaked rock. And even if you survive the radiation, your body will feel the heavy burden of this new world. Proxima b is a super-Earth, meaning it is more massive than our home. Gravity there is at least 30% stronger. Every step you take will feel like you're carrying a heavy lead vest. Your heart will have to work much harder to pump blood, and your bones will be under constant stress. Basically, Proxima b is a hostile environment that will try to crush you, freeze you, and fry you all at the same time. But wait, there is one tiny sliver of hope. Because Proxima b is tidally locked, there is a thin strip of land between the scorching day side and the freezing night side, a place called the Terminator Zone. This is a world of eternal twilight, where the sun never sets and never rises. It stays fixed forever on the horizon, casting long, haunting shadows across the landscape. In this narrow ribbon of life, temperatures could actually be moderate enough for liquid water to exist. Imagine a world where one half is a desert of fire, the other an ocean of ice, and you are living in the thin, habitable line right in the middle. However, even in this safe zone, you are not truly safe. Proxima Centauri is not a calm, stable star like our sun. It is a red dwarf with a hair-trigger temper. Scientists have recently observed megaflares that make the star 14,000 times brighter in just a few seconds. These flares blast the planet with X-rays and ultraviolet radiation so intense they could peel the atmosphere right off the planet. For humans to survive there, Proxima b would need a massive magnetic field, far stronger than Earth's, to act as a shield. Without it, the surface would be a barren, radioactive wasteland where life is impossible. The biggest question remains, how do we even get there? At 40 trillion kilometers away, our current rockets would take nearly 70,000 years to arrive. That is longer than human history. But scientists are already dreaming of the Breakthrough Starshot project, using powerful ground-based lasers to push tiny, ultralight probes to 20% the speed of light. If we can master this technology, we could reach Proxima b in just 20 years. Settling on Proxima b is not just about finding a new home. It is about ensuring that the flame of human civilization never goes out. It is the ultimate challenge for our species. We started by crossing oceans in wooden boats. We conquered the moon in tin cans, and one day we will bridge the gap between the stars. So, would you take a one-way ticket to a world of eternal twilight, knowing you would be the first human to see a different sun? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this journey to the edge of the galaxy, hit that subscribe button and join our community of space explorers. The universe is vast, and we have only just begun to scratch the surface. See you in the next one!